If you feel like your marketing is forced, like you have to sit down and make yourself write content, you are so not alone. And in this episode, I want to dive deeper into why that may be happening and what you can do to fix it and to actually feel like you're showing up and sharing something that you're really excited to share about and it doesn't feel like you're forcing. Because I can tell you for certain that if you are forcing your content, you are actually repelling the very people that you want to help. So, if you're new around here, this is a human design and business series that I'm doing where I show you how these different parts and pieces of your human design chart work with your business and marketing and how to use them in your business. Because isn't that the point? Like, I know when I got into human design, I wasn't just about knowing myself better. Well, yes, that's part of it. The other part was how can I really apply this to my life and my business to make things easier and just a heck of a lot more fun. So if we haven't met, I am Rachel. And I'm the creator of Athena AI, where she is a bot. She's not Claude and she's not ChatGPT. She is her own thing, but she uses your human design to help you write messaging, show up, content, email, sales pages, all the things, your natural expression, the way that you naturally want to do it. And she coaches you through the whole process. So she's pretty cool. But that aside, let's get into this episode around profiles. Now, most people talk about profiles from like, this is your personality, or like, this is the way that you want to show up. And while that's kind of true, I want to get a little deeper into it because recently I realized something really interesting. So I'm a 4/6, and I realized that the fourth line I had kind of forgotten about. It is not the line that I generally think too much about, ironically, because it's the conscious line. But I used to have a Facebook group, and that's how I started my whole business. It was a community, right? Because that's really what Facebook groups are. It was a community, and we were talking about human design and messaging and copywriting and all the things. I recently shut it down because I just didn't want to be on Facebook anymore. And it felt like I was again performing. I was just showing up to show up, and I didn't like that. So I was like, you know what? I think it's time to be done. And also engagement had really dropped, likely because my own energy had dropped in it. But however, once I closed that, I didn't realize that I didn't have that community feel elsewhere other than my paid containers. I didn't have a free space that really did the same job as the Facebook group. And I'm realizing now that how important that really was to my marketing and how people were able to connect with me. So I bring this up because it really is important to know and understand your profile lines and how you really want to show up. Because if you're doing it in a way that isn't you, that isn't like your natural way of showing up, it's going to feel more performative. It's going to feel forced. And it's probably not going to work the way that you want it to work. So I'm going to break down all 6 profile lines in this episode and give you examples of how and what type of content you really want to focus on with that type. Before I do that, I do want to talk about like your profile is 2 lines, right? It's the conscious and the unconscious. It'll say profile 4/6, profile 1/3. The first line is the conscious line. The second line is unconscious. Typically, we're more aware of the conscious line. It's part of our conscious mind. And the second number is one that you're like, I'm not as aware of that one. I've actually found that to be the opposite for me personally. I am more embodied and feel more conscious of my 6th line than I do of my 4th line. I avoid my 4th line community where I did it naturally in the beginning, which this is honestly a little caveat, guys. When you first start your business, you're probably more in alignment with how you naturally want to show up than any other time in your business because you don't know what you don't know. You are just I'm here, I'm doing the thing. I want to like share this. I'm going to offer this. And you're not thinking so much about what is the right way to do it until you get a couple of years in, you've taken courses, you've hired a couple different coaches and they all have their own opinions. And suddenly you're like, actually, I don't know what's me. I don't know actually how I want to show up. I'm trying to do it the way that everyone says works, but it doesn't really work or doesn't work as well as I thought I did. And I had more success in the beginning. I was the same way. I didn't know what I didn't know. I just showed up, I did the thing, and it worked because it was naturally aligned to my human design. Now, we can talk about that in a deeper conversation later. And if you do want me to talk more about that, like comment and say, like, share your personal stories. But I bring this up because when we are bringing these two numbers together, we get to play with it in a way that feels, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want you to get hung up on doing this perfect, because that's what probably got you to this point now where you've taken in all of these different strategies and ideas and you're like, I don't know what is supposed to work. Anything can work. So I want you to like take the pressure off of yourself of having to show up a certain way and just play with it. Understand what feels good for you. This is what Athena also does. Like, she doesn't say this is the way to do it. She's like, this is a way that you could do it. How does that feel? Does that like resonate with you? Does it feel good? Do you want to do it that way? Right. And I want you in the driver's seat. We're not putting the chart above you and like the chart is the only way. No, we're using the chart as a way to learn about ourselves in the way that we want to show up. Okay. So as I go through these 6 lines and you have 2, look at the 2 or listen to the 2 that you have and how can you show up more with those ideas? And after I go through the 6, I'll give you another example of how to do this. So let's just dive in. Line ones. Line ones, you are the depth and the cliff notes. I go to my line ones when I really want the cliff notes version of something, when I know that they've deep, deep, deep researched on some topic. We trust the depth. We trust the research that you've done. I want just the essence of what I need to know, right? The explanation. The one lines are the people that have deeply learned quantum physics and neurobiology, and they're the ones that have all kinds of degrees and certificates, and they love knowledge and getting deep on things. You're not necessarily here to be inspirational. It's not what the one line is here for. It's here to show us the inside and outside of a subject, the depth, the understanding of a subject. So your content is going to be like myth busting type posts. It's going to be deep educational YouTube videos that probably go on for like an hour. Don't like one lines. Don't be afraid to share all that depth and like organize it in a way that people go, this makes so much sense. Like, that's what a one line does. Another idea would be like, here's what everyone misunderstands, right? You've done the research. Here's why people are getting things wrong. Research breakdowns, case studies, those are the types of things that a one line, number one, naturally wants to share anyway. But when you do, that's the content people are like drooling over and want more of. So stop worrying that you don't know enough. You already know enough. Number one, one lines definitely can get lost in perfectionism and wanting, like, I don't know enough. I need more information. I need a deep research on this. No, you don't. You are ready to share. You know way more than you think you do. Okay. So just go out there and myth bust and tell us what we are missing. Okay. Okay. Line twos. Line twos are the naturally gifted person. That you naturally have this gift. You don't even realize that you do. It comes so freaking naturally. It's magic. It really is. And it's so oftentimes, this is why you'll see like your other line. So if you're a 2-4, your network is going to show you what that natural talent and gift is. And it's going to draw you that talent and gift out. So I don't want you going and trying to necessarily figure out what your talent is. You can ask yourself questions for sure. You can ask your friends, hey, what do you think I'm naturally gifted at? But it's going to be something that bubbles to the surface really on its own. And I want you to just bring some conscious awareness to what could it be? What's something that's super, super easy for me, but when I talk about it with other people, they're like, I have no idea how you do that. You're so good at that, right? That's what the clues that I want you to be more bring a conscious awareness to. Your content is around sharing things that you say over and over to clients, like even creating offers from things that you say over and over to clients, recording yourself answering questions naturally. So your content could look like a snippet of a client call, like you prop up your phone and record yourself during a client call, or it could actually be the client call, like if you've recorded it on Loom or not Loom, but on Zoom or whatever. But you're using actual conversations for your content behind the scenes of how you think. So maybe this is like you ask people what questions do they have, and you just record yourself responding to those questions. It could be, this feels so obvious to me, but no one else actually sees it. Or this comes really easily to me, but I know it's challenging for other people. And let me share my process, things like that. Okay. When you are embodying the two line, don't manufacture the content, your expertise. Don't sit here and go, okay, what is my natural gene? And like overthink it. That's not the point. I want you in your natural genius and I want you catching it, sort of like you're going to sneak up on it and catch it. That's why recording a client call, or maybe it's having a friend sit down and have a conversation with you, but you're recording it. Things like that. Like it's so easy to dismiss your natural genius that you have to be kind of, I don't know, a little sneaky about it. Does that make sense? Okay. A third line. I love third lines. You're the experimenter. The get your hands in the clay, play with life, do life. No one can tell you how to actually do it. You got to figure it out for yourself. So people trust your experience. It is not about perfection. It is not about showing up and being a certain face professionally or expert wise. It is you in the trenches sharing your expertise. Okay. And I know that can feel really uncomfortable if you're not used to it, but the more that you can share the process of maybe it starts with things that you've already healed and experienced and learned from, and you're sharing that. And then you gradually progress into like, this is just where I'm at right now, living my life. Sharing the experiences of the now. So your content is going to look like I tested this and this is what I found. The wins and the fails, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. And a lot of here's why you don't want to do it. Here's what I learned. All of that. Okay. Launch recaps. If you do a launch and maybe you do a podcast episode or a reel or something around sharing what worked, what didn't work in the launch, and business experiments. Maybe I can see a series of hey, I'm going to book myself out this month, follow along for the process or something like that, where you're taking people along with you to experience whatever the thing that you're doing. Okay. It's all about now and experience now what's working, what's not working. Okay. Don't hide the messy middle. And definitely, this is your authority. This is your ability to relate to people when you can truly embrace the messy. And I know I've had several 3 lines come to me and be like, this feels so uncomfortable. And I get it. I get that it feels uncomfortable to be in that messy middle, but I want you to start dipping your toes in this because it is going to explode your business exponentially when you can show up and share without, again, the energy behind everything that you do matters more than anything. So you're not necessarily forcing yourself to go, okay, I'm sharing this really embarrassing story. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you know that it is the process that ultimately people want to see from you. So it's sharing that process as detailed as you want or as detailed as you feel comfortable, right? And sharing it from a place of, I want you to learn from my mistakes. I want you to learn from my experience. And that's what it's about. Okay. All right. Line fours. Line fours are the opportunist, the networker, the community person. You connect with people. There's just a connection with 4 lines that is unique. We love deep conversations. We hate surface level. That might also be the 6th line. That's the 6th line in me too. But 4th lines love deep conversation, connecting heart to heart, really sharing with the other person and what's going on. We love that. We're somewhat natural community builders, although I have not leaned into that as much. I could lean more into it, but I think I've avoided it for my own wild reasons, but connection and community is the 4th line. So content ideas for the 4th line are client spotlights, community conversations, creating a community, which is why Facebook worked really well in the beginning for me, is because I created a community around it. Polls, stories about relationships, collaborations, things like that really connect you with a wider network of people. People join movements too. They want to be a part of something. What are you creating that they want to be a part of? Okay. So in embodying this as a 4th line, they actually don't need a bigger audience to make a lot of money and be successful. It's how deeper relationships are you building with that audience? So think about your own connection with people, your own audience, your Instagram. Are you creating a community there? Are you creating connection with people? And this goes outside of just posting and waiting for somebody to like raise their hand and start a conversation. Go out and comment on other people. I'll go out and like cheer other people on. Go to events and create a community. Like you don't wait for it to come to you. Go out and facilitate this just as much. And okay, does that make sense? All right. Line five's the heretic. The line five projection field. If you're line five, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone wants you to be the hero, wants you to solve the problems, wants you to be the thing, and they get really mad when you're not the thing. Okay. Line fives. I want you to understand that people naturally, unconsciously know that you can solve the problem. You're really freaking good at solving problems. It is so important that you create boundaries around your energy and making sure that what solutions you're providing put the sovereignty back in your client's hands. So you're not necessarily there to save them all the time. I see fifth lines trying to offer things like deep Voxer support and like 24-hour support, things like that. Don't do that. That's not what a fifth line is here. You're here to give a process, maybe it's a digital course or something like that where they walk through the thing and you answer questions at certain times, right? You are putting the sovereignty back in their hands, okay? You are not the savior. You are simply the guide. So content ideas for you are bold opinions. And I love bold opinions for a fifth line because it really helps sort through and get the people that are actually committed, actually want to change, not the ones that are kind of stuck in the whining and the complaining, but actually want to change with it. So your bold opinion is going to do two things. It's going to repel the people that are looking for the savior, and it's going to attract the people that want to guide. Your frameworks. Frameworks are fantastic for a fifth line. You're really showing how you're going to walk them through the process. Hot takes. Here's what's actually happening, like deeper thing, and really clear solutions, making sure that every single offer you have is a very clear solution. This is what you're going to get. This is what life looks like. Like there's no vagueness. There's no guessing. And no, the clearer your solution is in your offers, the easier it will sell and the more happy clients you will have. So when you're embodying as a fifth line, don't water yourself down. Okay. Because that's when you're going to attract those people, the people that want to be saved, that need hand holding. Really stand in your leadership, stand in your perspectives, and offer really clear solutions. Okay. Six lines. Six lines have the three phases in life, and they're called the role model because by the time you get to the third phase, you have so much perspective and wisdom to share. It's vision. It's all of it, right? And that being said, you don't necessarily have to get all the way to 55. If you understand the sixth line, the first phase is 0 to 30. The second phase is 30 to 55. And then after 55, you are like the role model and wisdom. You don't have to be at 55 plus to share your wisdom. Okay. You can share it at any stage. The key with the sixth line is really embodiment and making sure that you are that version, that you do feel confident, that you're not only can talk about the wisdom that you have learned, maybe you learned law of attraction or something, and now you want to share it with other people, making sure that you are embodying it. You're not just spouting facts and thoughts and things, you actually live it, right? And sharing the wisdom that has gained by embodying it. So content ideas for six lines are lessons learned, future trends, leadership type content, vision casting. Here's where I think the industry is headed, stuff like that. I lean more heavily in this category more than my fourth line. That being said, again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. And what's really interesting and fun is that I took Athena. So Athena is my app that I've created. I have my own profile that I use her all the time. But I went and asked her, I was like, I don't think I'm actually like leaning into my fourth line as much. Can you give me some ideas on how to show up more with that embodied fourth line and connecting with people? And she gave me so many ideas to connect with my audience, to create a movement and a community on Instagram instead of my Facebook group that I closed. She was just really helpful in unpacking, well, why haven't I really shown up with that community piece? And then how can I turn this around? How can I now show up more with that community piece of it. So super fascinating. Just wanted to share that. So the whole to like wrap this like little package up, if you are, say, a 2-5 and you are sharing the messy middle and trying to relate to people, it probably doesn't feel comfortable, number one. It probably feels like you're performing and it's like you're procrastinating on your content instead of just embracing what you're naturally good at and the solution that you're providing. Like that's how I want you showing up. And I guarantee you, content is going to feel so much easier. So, like, you can just show up and share and not feel like you're trying to shove yourself into a box. The thing that I was doing that Athena pointed out to me was that I had put limitations on how I was supposed to show up. She was saying, like, just share what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm like, what? I don't even know how to do that. I feel like it has, like, doesn't need a hook. Doesn't it need like a framework or something? And she's like, no. How do you actually want to show up? What if you just posted something where you were connecting with your audience? And I'm like, maybe I should, right? Not that, do you see where she caught me doing something that in my head made sense, like follow the hooks, follow the strategy that everybody else does, right? Like I see so much content around, hey, take so and so's viral content and apply it to your business. And while, yes, that is helpful sometimes, I don't want you forgetting who you are, what you are naturally gifted at doing, how you actually want to express. Because if we simply just do what everyone else is doing, you will eventually blend in. And two, you will likely either not build a business, you'll get frustrated and plateaued, or you will hustle and figure it out and build the business, but then it's a business that isn't fulfilling to you. And I know for my clients and myself, I want a business that actually is purposeful, that not only helps people, but also fulfills me and my expression, how I want to create in my life. So therefore, I need to do it in the way that I'm designed to instead of forcing something that's not. So thank you, Athena, so much for pointing that out to me and how I can like let go of those rules and just show up. I've been doing it more on here. I actually got a little bit obsessed with like, how am I supposed to retain attention and make sure that people are staying and listening and da 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 da. And again, while that's sometimes helpful, it can honestly stifle how we really want to show up. And instead, I want you to be just really honest with yourself of what you want to share. Connect to your ideal client, the person that you're speaking to, just like they were literally sitting on the other side of a table with you, truly connecting with them. Your content will do so much better. So have more reach, more comments, more all the things, instead of trying to go, okay, what's the hook and how can I use trending? Da 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 da. Like, stop. It's never going to lead where you want it to lead. Okay, if you're curious about Athena, I'm going to put the link below. You can jump into her anytime. She is open now. And that's it. Next week, we're going to talk about Mercury. So make sure to follow along.
Your voice is the portal, not the plan, not the template, not the trend.